Hi, I'm Dylan Meyer, and my speech is on animal testing. Animals have become a popular addition to the households of many American families. According to Monique Ballas, pet columnist for The Oregonian, a recent poll taken on June 30th, 2011, revealed that 3 out of every 5 Americans now own a pet. Pets are loved dearly by their owners, and some treat their pets like their children, or even better than their children for that matter. For those of you who do own a pet, imagine it being put through dangerous treatments and tests, which cause physical pain and stress. No owner wants their pet to go through it, so why should any animal for that matter? Animal testing is no joke. There are over 12,000 facilities nationwide which perform unsafe procedures on animals, ranging from rats to horses, testing new drugs to be put on the market or other such medical treatments. After researching this topic, there are 3 reasons which, in my mind, are the most prominent reasons to discontinue animal testing. Animal testing is not the same as human testing. Testing an animal with drugs provides different results and has different effects on the body than if it were given to a human. Animal testing is morally wrong, and there are already other alternatives to animal testing which do not compromise its morality. Although testing drugs on humans would not be considered safe, testing drugs on animals does not provide accurate results. Drugs will have different effects on both humans and animals. So, how can testing drugs on animals provide accurate results on how it will affect humans? The answer is simple: it can't. According to the ASAP, abolishing the status of animals and property, there are 3 types of tests which are performed during pharmaceutical testing on animals. A metabolic test identifies how the drug is absorbed in the body and excreted. The ASAP states non-human animals have different biological structures and physiology than humans, and they also have different methods of breaking down substances which are ingested. So comparing the results of animals to humans is anything but precise. As stated in Alternatives Testing Without Torture, an article published by PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, on their website, the National Institute of Health have reported more than 80 HIV/AIDS vaccines that have passed animal testing and have failed in human clinical trials. A toxicology test of the drug is given to measure the maximum dose which can be taken before signs of toxicity begin to appear in the body. Once again, animals' body structures are completely different than humans. So, how can we say that the maximum dose for an animal is also the maximum dose for a human? It's impossible to tell. The last test is efficacy studies, which test whether experimental drugs work by inducing the appropriate illness in animals using an animal model of the disease. An animal model of a certain disease is different than a human model of the same disease. Different species are affected by different strains of a disease, and within these strains are affected differently by each one. It would be a mistake to say that a drug which cures one animal of one strain of a disease is guaranteed to cure a human with a different model of the disease. The ASAP states, if the results of tests on animals had been relied upon, we would not have penicillin or digitalis, which is a drug used by heart patients but was withheld for a long time because it was found to raise blood pressure in dogs. Drug testing causes stress and pain for the animals being tested, and in some scenarios even causes death. Is it right to allow this apparent torture and killing of animals with no regard for their precious right to life? Morality must be considered when performing tests and other treatments on animals, even though it is usually overlooked. According to Claire Andre and Manuel Velasquez, authors of Cures and Creatures Great and Small from Santa Clara University, about 20 million animals are experimented on and killed annually, 3/4 for medical purposes, and the rest to test various products. An estimated 8 million are used in painful experiments. Reports show that at least 10% of these animals do not receive painkillers. If these types of procedures were done to humans, it would be, without a doubt, considered torture. Andre and Velasquez go on to say, if it is wrong to inflict pain on a human being, it is just as wrong to inflict pain on an animal. The toxicity test causes possibly the greatest amount of pain to animals. Some of these tests, as described by the ASAP, include applying substance to the eyes of conscious animals in order to test irritancy, applying substances on shaved skin frequently abrased or broken to increase absorption, burning them, breaking their skulls, and implanting electrodes, and many more. Why would you want your pet to go through such treatment? Of course you wouldn't. So why are we allowing other animals to be put through so much pain and suffering? But animals are not just affected physically, they are damaged mentally too. Just like humans, animals need to be social with one another to maintain their sanity. The conditions which animals are kept in are extremely cruel. The ASAP talks of the conditions that animals are kept in while being tested. Many spend the entirety of their lives in small, barren metal cages. The isolation and boredom alone often causes social animals to become psychotic. Animal testing is morally wrong since it causes pain and suffering in almost every form possible. Why are we torturing animals with drugs and other procedures when there are already other alternatives to drug testing on animals? Alternatives to animal testing are already underway. Methods such as test tube studies, epidemiological studies, and computer models provide more accurate results than animal testing and are also morally acceptable. The PETA states epidemiological studies led to the discoveries of the relationship between cancer and smoking and to the identification of heart disease risk factors. Conversely, tobacco company executives relied on misleading animal based studies to deny the link between smoking and cancer as recently as 1994. Most of these ongoing alternatives are widely accepted in the United States and other countries around the world. Human skin model tests are now in use, including the validated epiderm test, states PETA, which has been accepted almost universally as a total replacement for the skin corrosion tests on rabbits. Using leftover human skin from surgical procedures is another safer way of obtaining testing material rather than using live animals. The alternatives are out there. They are more accurate and are safer in regards to animals as they do not inflict torture or cause other physical or mental stress. Animal testing is not reliable. It provides different results that is used as misinformation when marketing drugs for humans. Testing drugs on animals is also morally unacceptable. Animals feel pain and suffering just as much as humans, and it is inhumane to put them through such treatments. There are other alternatives to animal testing, which return more precise results, and I suggest we start using them. It is not okay to test drugs on animals simply due to the fact that they are animals. Think for a minute. Would you want your pet going through treatments which cause them physical pain and mental stress, or even death? I don't think so.